Welcome to Evolution of Self with me, Britannia. I was having a very interesting conversation with someone, and it was all about saying no. This person I was talking to was actually talking about going out to nightclubs and things, and how they found it interesting. Well, actually, they were wondering why girls don't get more irritated by drunken, lecherous men and how these men don't seem to accept no when it's given. And this led us to talking about parenting and how it's very hard as a parent to say no and mean it when you're rearing your children. And this got me to think about how it's actually maybe a disservice to others that we don't train our children, and maybe train is a little bit of a hard word, it sounds like puppy dog training or something, but we are ultimately training our kids. We do it in every way that we behave, we do it in all our interactions, we do it with who we're being. And this particular topic was very fascinating to me because it's something that I struggled with a lot. I was a single parent for most of my children's lives. And it was something that I knew that if I didn't say no and mean it, that I would actually make my life harder. That next time I said no, they'd know that I didn't mean no and that they could push. And the more often that I let that no slide, the harder it was for me to stick to a no when I actually meant it. And although I'm talking about children and child rearing, this actually goes to everyone that you interact with in life. If you say no and don't mean that no, then the next time the person you interact with hears you say no, they think that they can push a little bit and you'll cave. The more that you do it, the more likely they are to believe that the more they push, that you will eventually cave. I'm not quite saying this properly. The pushback escalates is what I'm trying to get across. For instance, my kids know that I say no. Occasionally, they know that they can get past it, but their determination, their belief that they're going to get past me saying no is not great because it doesn't often happen. If, on the other hand, the majority of the time I said no, I didn't stick to it, they wouldn't really be able to believe it when eventually I said no and meant it. They would most likely escalate quite severely, have a full-on meltdown, get really angry, throw all sorts of different behavioural sort of dysfunctions at me, because there's no evidence that I keep my word when I say no. And what it really hit me through this conversation that I had was that by training our children, by bringing them up to believe that no is not no, when they get told no in the big bad world, when they go off beyond our family walls and they start interacting with others in whatever situation that might be, when someone says no to them and means it, they won't really be able to believe this. And it's quite a dangerous space to be. It was just that conversation about nightclubbing, really, and thinking about people saying no and other people not believing that their no is a no. And I think it's something that we should really be aware of, that collectively we need to sort of really mean it when we say no, because by being lenient, by changing our no's to a yes or a maybe or whatever, we're actually doing a major disservice to a lot of people in this world. I don't really know what else to say about that. It was just something that came to me and I thought was really quite fascinating. And something that I thought I needed to share. So I hope you've enjoyed my little conversation about saying no. As usual, all my links are in the show notes below. I've recently created a Increase Your Happiness free course, a 7-day free course, and the link to that is also in the show notes below. I hope you enjoy it and have a fabulous week. So much love from me to you. Bye-bye.